Today, we're diving into a challenge that honestly, so many people living in frigid regions face every winter: frozen water pipes. It may sound like a small inconvenience, but when water lines freeze, entire households can lose access to drinking water, bathing, cooking, and even heating if their system depends on hot water circulation. In some cases, pipes don't just freeze, they burst, causing major flooding and honestly some really costly damage. But locals in places where winters hit -30 or even -50 degrees Celsius have developed creative ways to deal with this problem. From traditional know-how passed down through generations to modern engineering solutions, these methods reveal the resilience of communities in extreme cold. So, let's explore. How do people deal with frozen water pipes, and what can we learn from them? To understand the solutions, let's first look at the problem. When temperatures drop below zero, water inside pipes begins to freeze. Unlike most liquids, water actually expands as it freezes, which creates immense pressure inside the pipe walls. Even a strong metal pipe can crack or burst under that pressure. This usually happens in poorly insulated pipes, those located outdoors, or ones running through unheated basements, crawl spaces, or exterior walls. The consequences are more than just inconvenience. A frozen pipe means no running water, and if it bursts, it can flood homes and destroy heating systems. For locals living in Siberia, Alaska, northern Canada, or rural Scandinavia, dealing with frozen water pipes can be a matter of survival. Long before modern insulation, people had to be creative. In Siberia and Mongolia, families traditionally avoided indoor plumbing altogether during the coldest months. Instead, they stored water in large wooden barrels indoors and collected fresh snow to melt for cooking and drinking. This way, they didn't have to rely on outdoor pipes that would inevitably freeze. In Scandinavia, locals used straw moss and animal hides as primitive insulation. They would wrap pipes, water wells, and even buckets in layers of organic material to keep them from freezing solid. In Arctic regions, indigenous communities built homes with water storage inside, relying on natural ice melting and snow collection instead of risking underground pipes. These methods might seem primitive, but they worked. And many people in remote areas still use variations of these techniques today. Fast forward to today, and modern technology has introduced new ways to protect water systems. Pipe insulation is, honestly, the most common method out there. People usually use foam or fiberglass sleeves to cover their pipes. These sleeves act like jackets, reducing heat loss and keeping the water inside liquid, even when it gets extremely cold. Now, in especially harsh regions like Alaska, folks take things a step further by wrapping pipes in electric heating cables. These cables are plugged into outlets and keep the pipes just slightly warm, which helps prevent freezing. Another trick people use is running a drip of water. Locals often leave faucets running at a slow drip overnight. And, while it might seem a bit wasteful, moving water is actually much harder to freeze. This simple trick can honestly save entire plumbing systems. On top of that, there's strategic pipe placement. Builders in cold regions often run water lines through interior walls instead of exterior ones. In some cases, pipes are buried much deeper underground, below the frost line, to keep them safe from freezing. Homeowners don't just stop at insulating the pipes, they often insulate the entire space around them. Heated basements, insulated crawl spaces, and sealed foundation walls all work together to keep the plumbing warm and protected from the cold. So, what happens when pipes freeze despite all these precautions? Well, locals have a few emergency methods up their sleeves. First, they might use warm towels and hot water bottles to wrap around those frozen sections, gently thawing the ice. Then, there's the trusty hairdryer or heat gun, a favorite for directing warm air onto pipes until the ice melts away. Portable heaters are another go-to, especially when placed near frozen pipes in basements or crawl spaces. And don't forget about opening cabinets and doors. Sometimes those pesky frozen pipes are hiding behind kitchen cabinets, and opening them allows the warm room air to circulate and do its magic. But when things get really tough, it's time to call in the pros. In severe cases, plumbers come equipped with specialized pipe thawing machines. These machines send electric currents through metal pipes, heating them from within. Locals know, though, that speed is of the essence. The longer those pipes stay frozen, the greater the risk they'll burst. Now, in some of the coldest regions of the world, solutions go beyond individual households. Take Siberian towns, for example. Entire neighborhoods there use district heating systems. Hot water is circulated from central plants through insulated underground pipes. Because the water is always hot and constantly moving, this system prevents freezing and provides heating for entire apartment blocks. It's quite an impressive feat, really. In some Inuit and Alaskan villages, locals use these raised, insulated utility corridors. They're kind of like enclosed above-ground tunnels, where water, sewage, and heating lines are bundled together. This design, well, it keeps maintenance easy and protects pipes from the frozen ground, which is called permafrost. These large-scale solutions really show how communities adapt collectively, not just individually. Beyond the technical solutions, there's also the human story. For families living in these regions, dealing with frozen pipes is, honestly, an annual ritual. Parents teach their children the signs of freezing water lines, the importance of dripping faucets, and how to wrap pipes before the first frost. In some rural areas, neighbors even check on each other during extreme cold spells. If one household loses water, others often step in to share water supplies or offer heated space for emergency repairs. This resilience and cooperation, highlight not just survival but community spirit in the face of harsh environments. So, what lessons can those of us in milder climates take from these locals? First, preparation is everything. Locals know that once temperatures drop, it's often too late to act. They prepare weeks in advance by insulating, stocking emergency supplies, and monitoring weather forecasts. Second, adaptation is key. Instead of resisting the climate, they work with it, using snow as water, designing buildings for insulation, and adjusting daily routines to prevent frozen pipes. Finally, resilience matters. Frozen pipes are more than just a technical issue. They're a reminder that even modern conveniences can be fragile in extreme conditions. The people who live in these regions show us how human creativity and persistence can overcome nature's challenges. Frozen water pipes may sound like a small household problem, but in regions where winter is harsh and unforgiving, they can disrupt entire lives. Locals deal with them using a mix of old traditions, modern technology, and strong community support. From straw insulation to electric heating cables, from dripping faucets to communal heating systems, these solutions reflect centuries of adaptation. And perhaps the most powerful lesson is this: survival in extreme cold isn't about fighting nature, but learning how to live alongside it. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into how people adapt to life in extreme conditions, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And let us know in the comments, what winter challenges do people in your region face?